7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, welcome back to OWO UK and welcome to my first pay-per-view review of 2018, hopefully the first of many. Rocking the OWO t-shirt there. I'd just like to give a big shout out to the guy who started OWO, Josh. I've been chatting to him a lot recently and he's been very positive towards, the OWO UK channel. Like I said in one of the previous videos, I apologise to him for it being slightly neglected, but he understands that I work nights, I have a family, and I don't always have time to do stuff, but I've told him that I'm not going to let the OWO brand down. It's great to be a part of the whole thing, so I'm going to try and get as much new stuff up on this channel as I possibly can, starting with the Royal Rumble 2018 review video. So I managed to stay away from social media, so I didn't know any of the results, and I managed to do quite well, so I was quite impressed with myself. But I will get on with it and stop babbling, and we'll go through the card as it happened. So the opening match was Zayn and Owens, or Cammy as they've been dubbed by AJ Styles, versus AJ Styles, who you can see I'm a fan of, and you may not be able to see, I have my P1 side plates on my belt. Now this match, I didn't agree with it starting the event. There were other matches that I thought should have started the event, but WWE being WWE put the WWE title match on first, so it is what it is. Leave them to it. They obviously know what they're doing. I don't think it should have been first. Like I said, there were other matches that should have been first, but I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I found myself actually shouting at the screen, cheering AJ on, and every time it looked like Owens and Zayn might get somewhere, legitimately got drawn into the match and thought at times that Styles may lose the title. Thank God he didn't, because I don't know how it would have worked with Zayn and Owens. There was a controversy at the end of the match where Owens wasn't the actual legal man in the ring, but Styles pinned him anyway, which obviously sets up some sort of continuation, for the storyline going forward. But yeah, great match, great opening match. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and so glad that AJ kept his belt. Next matchup is the one that I think should have started the event, in my honest opinion, and that is Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Yeah, like I said, this, in my opinion, should have been the first match, but it wasn't. I was expecting Gable and Benjamin to win this, given the fact that I had seen that one of the Usos, I don't know which one it was, had been caught and been arrested for a DUI, so I expected punishment to be dished out in the way of lose the belts. Thank God that didn't happen. They retained the titles in, I thought it was a very average match. I wasn't blown away with it. There was some great spots in it, some great action in it, but it seemed to take ages for the first fall, and then in no time at all we had the second fall. Like I said, the Usos retained. I was glad about that. On a personal side note, I've never ever liked Shelton Benjamin. Didn't like him when he was a singles wrestler in WWE. I didn't even like him as part of Team Angle. I didn't like him in Ring of Honor. One of my fondest memories of him in Ring of Honor was getting his head kicked in by the Briscoes. Next up was the 30-man Royal Rumble. I expected the women's one to be first, but then realised obviously it was a groundbreaking thing, so they put that one on last. Thoroughly enjoyed the Rumble. It was good to see the Hurricane. Mysterio was a genuine, legit shocker. I didn't expect him to be in it, given that he's wrestling for loads of other companies. Ziggler's return, although it wasn't amazing, he came back. Finn Balor lasted ages. What else? There was something else I was going to mention about it. Miz getting powerbombed outside the ring was awesome, although I didn't agree with Seth Rollins just grinning at Reigns when he eliminated him. It made it look like he wasn't bothered about going to Mania, but obviously he had the tag team match later on and everything, so. But yeah, Finn Balor lasted ages in the Rumble. I was really impressed with that. When it came down to the last 4, I thought it was going to be Reigns or Cena, and then I thought, no, it's going to be Reigns. It's got to be Reigns. Then he can go on to Mania, face Lesnar, take the title off him, blah blah blah. But Shinsuke Nakamura won the Rumble, and I was so happy. I think the majority of wrestling fans, of WWE fans at least, were shocked that Nakamura won it. But I think a lot of people were glad that it's something fresh, it's something new, and it was amazing. I am so glad Shinsuke Nakamura won it. Can't wait to see him and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I'm hoping Styles will retain if nothing else changes on the way. But they're going to tear it up, absolutely tear it up. That is going to be my prediction for a possible match of the night. A lot of people say it was the best Royal Rumble ever. I don't agree with that. There have been some brilliant ones in the early 2000s, late 90s, etc. But it's definitely been the best one for a long time, given the fact that the winner wasn't so obvious. The next matchup was Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. I wasn't really blown away by this match. It didn't do anything for me. Jason Jordan spent the majority of the match outside, selling a head injury, and then Seth Rollins did it all on his own. Got pinned, Bar win the titles. I have no problem with that. I like The Bar. I'm a fan of Cesaro. And I don't mind Sheamus. I think as a team they're great. I think this is going to lead to some sort of storyline between Jordan and Rollins now, and a heel turn for Jordan, which wouldn't be a massive thing because the majority of fans don't actually like Jason Jordan anyway, given the fact that every time he opens his mouth on Raw he gets booed. So yeah, see where that leads. Next up was the Universal title match, triple threat, Strowman versus Kane versus Lesnar. There was a bit at the beginning that said Lesnar is the longest reigning champion currently. It doesn't really mean anything given the fact that he's hardly on Raw. He hardly defends the title, and he's basically hardly ever there. So he's bound to be the longest reigning champion currently. At least when Kevin Owens had the belt, we saw it on Raw, and it was defended regular. Strowman should have walked out as champion because again we would have seen the belt. Kane was never really a legitimate threat, in my opinion, to the title. I thought the ending was kind of screwy. Lesnar pinned Kane. I knew whoever won it became that get pinned. I think that's all he was in the match for, to be honest. But yeah, I wasn't blown away by it. There were some good nice spots, with people going through tables and announce tables, etc. There was a moment where Brock Lesnar looked to legitimately punch Strowman in the side of the head after Strowman seemed to have botched a bit of a knee to Lesnar's head. Now, to me, if Strowman did cock up and make a balls up of that moment, that bit, then fine, say something to him. But somebody who is a legit fighter should not be punching somebody in the side of the head, especially around the temple area. Very unprofessional, uncalled for, and somebody really needs to be having a word with Lesnar about that. It's very unprofessional. Again, I stand by my statement. I am not a huge Braun Strowman fan, but I don't dislike him. But I think he needs to become the champion, basically just so we can see the title on TV every week. That's just my opinion, but it's probably going to end up Reigns going to WrestleMania and taking the belt off Lesnar, and then Lesnar can tootle off back to UFC and do his thing there. Last but by no means least was the Women's Rumble. My pick was Asuka. I mentioned this to Josh when I was chatting to him. I was right. She won the Rumble. What a Rumble it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great to see some of the old ladies in there. Lita, she looked really good when she was in the ring. Tori Wilson, she just looked good full stop. Molly Holly, she did a Molly go around off the top rope onto Sasha Banks, which was just amazing. Michelle McCool looked great. She got a few people eliminated. Jacqueline I weren't really bothered about. Trish Stratus, she looks amazing. I was actually watching it on the laptop, and my girlfriend looked over and her exact comments were, "Oh my god, she's such a bitch, she looks amazing." She was very envious at how well Kelly looked, because quite right, frankly, she did look amazing. But yeah, she was like, Trish is not aged at all. But yeah, great Rumble, brilliant first Women's Royal Rumble, thoroughly enjoyed it. They did a really good job. Asuka won, like I say, I was expecting it. What I wasn't expecting was that when the two champions, Bliss and Charlotte Flair, went into the ring for Asuka to pick who she was going to face, like they did with Nakamura, they asked him, he said AJ Styles. Some music hit, I knew the music, and I was like, that's Ronda Rousey's UFC music, that's her entrance music. And sure enough, the Titantron kicked in, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, and she came down with a massive leather coat, on which I thought that jacket is way too big for her. I've since found out that that was actually Rowdy Roddy Piper's leather jacket. His son apparently gave it to Ronda Rousey to wear down to the ring, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, she pointed at the WrestleMania sign. It didn't look as natural as it could have done, like a lot of the regular wrestlers would have made it look like natural, but she seemed to stress the point that she was pointing at the WrestleMania sign. But she's obviously going to be at Mania. I think obviously it's going to be Asuka versus Bliss. Frees up Charlotte Flair. Charlotte and Ronda. Get it on. I'm hoping if that's the case, Ronda Rousey, new SmackDown Women's Champion. And I will be buying the t-shirt. And as soon as I get the t-shirt, I will show you guys the unpackaging of it or whatever. Overall, yeah, 2018 Royal Rumble, I was happy. A lot of people say, like I said, it was the best Rumble ever. I don't agree with that. I think it's been the best Rumble for a long time, but not the best one ever. Pretty good way to start 2018, and let's just hope that WWE keeps that up, and the rest of the pay-per-views are good. They usually tend to start off well up to WrestleMania, then once they've milked all the money from WrestleMania, they tend to die off, and then SummerSlam's usually okay, and then they die off, and then Survivor Series is okay, and then they start the build-up again then to the Royal Rumble. Hopefully WWE will sort their shit out this year, and, pardon my French, and they'll make all the pay-per-views consistent, because I think now they are starting to realise that people are going elsewhere, given the amount of Bullet Club t-shirts and, I'm not even going to try and say it, but LIJ t-shirts that can be seen in the crowd, in the front rows and everything. So they realise they've got a lot to live up to now, and that New Japan Pro Wrestling is a massive contender. Speaking of New Japan Pro Wrestling, I do still have to watch Wrestle Kingdom 12 with that match, yes, Jericho and Kenny Omega. So as soon as I've watched that, I will do a review on it. Yeah, it's going to be late, but better late than never. But that's the way I look at it anyway. So yeah, that'll do it for now, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you've liked it, please leave a like. Please leave comments about who you thought was going to win, what you thought of the pay-per-view. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. Just hit the button. And if you haven't already, check out the actual OWO channel run by my good friend Josh, who is a great guy, has some amazing videos on there. Like I said, I've mentioned it before and I can't say enough good things about him. He's an all-round great guy and a great friend, and again, I would like to thank him for giving me the opportunity to run this UK version of OWO. And that'll do it now, guys, otherwise I'm going to start rambling. So I will see you next time. I'm going to do an NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review video, and I will post that up as soon as possible. I'll either tag it on the end of this maybe, or do it as a separate video, but that one will be coming up soon, I promise you. So for now, guys, I'll see you later.